Students, now we'll go for the next optical amplifier. The next optical amplifier is erbium doped fiber amplifiers. So we call it as EDFA in short. So here in this erbium doped fiber amplifiers, we are going to take the active medium, where this active medium is going to be created by lightly doping your silica fiber core by a rare earth element. That is, your silica core is going to be doped by a rare earth element, that is erbium there. So in this case, by doping it, we form an active medium there. This erbium is going to be a pink colored one. So when seeing that, when an optical this pink colored one is responsible for the optical fluorescent properties, which is going to be used in the laser applications. So when I'm going to use the silica doped with erbium, it is going to be it can be used for long distance communication there. So in that case, the long fiber length can be in the range from 10 to 30 meters. And next is the coupling loss is going to be very low, and the transparent to signal format and bit rate. So whatever is going to be the signal format which I want to transmit or propagate, and the bit rate can be used. These are the advantages. And next is the no crosstalk is going to be available here, and we are going to have a broad output spectrum. So the output spectrum is going to be from 1530 nanometer to 1560 nanometer. So the amplification mechanisms which you are going to have in your erbium doped fiber amplifier is, it is going to use your optical pumping process. So the optical amplifier is going to use your optical pumping process. So when I am going to pump the signal, that is, it is going to give energy to the electrons, where these electrons will reach to the excited state there. So once after the electrons reaches the excited states, the electrons will release some energy and come back to the ground state, that is to the lower level there. So when it is going to come from, when the electrons are going to come from the excited state and it is going to come back to the ground state, that is called as stimulated emission there. So here in this case, you are going to have the signal photon. The signal photon can trigger when a light signal is going to be, a light energy is going to be incident, that is, a signal photon is going to be instant. It can trigger the excited electron into a stimulated emission there. So the electron will release its remaining energy in the form of a new photon. So when the electron falls from a higher energy level to a new and lower energy level, a new photon is going to be released. That is, the extra energy is going to be released in the form of a new photon. So we can see here, so when I am going to have your three energy levels, this is your N1, N2 and your N3. So here your optical pumping is going to be done to higher energy levels. So this is your ground state. So when it is going to be in the ground state, what happens is, when a 980 nanometer energy is going to be pumped inside this fiber, what happens is, whatever electrons are going to be present in the ground state will get excited and go to the higher state there. So here this is the pump band, it will go. So here when the electrons are going to be excited and reaches the pump band, it will be in this band for a particular duration of time, and after some duration these electrons will fall back. So when these electrons are going to fall back, it is going to come here. So in this case, we have a radiationless decay is going to be available. That is the metastable state. This N2 is nothing but the metastable state. The three states are, this is your ground state, this is your metastable state, and this is going to be the pump band state there. So first, when I am going to pump the signal into the atom or the fiber, the electrons are going to be excited to the higher energy levels there. This energy, these electrons will stay there for some duration of time, and again it will return back to the metastable state there. That is called radiationless decay. And after some duration, when I am going to excite it by a 1550 nanometer signal, the electrons which are going to be available in the metastable state will come back to the ground state there. So when it comes back to the ground state, the extra energy is going to be emitted in the form of your signal there, a photon. So this you are going to have an output to be present like this. So this process is going to be called as a stimulated emission and amplification process, is going to take place at 1550 nanometers. So now we are going to see here the three states. As I said, we are going to have the ground state. This is going to be a metastable band, and this is going to be the pump band. These are the three bands which are going to be present there. So at 980 nanometers, what we are going to do is, we are going to have a pump transition there. So when I am going to have a pump transition, the electrons are going to be excited and it is going to go to the pump band. So when it goes to the pump band, the electrons that are excited will be in the pump band for some duration of time, and then it will decay and fall to the metastable band. So from here it goes to your third state. Third state is nothing but the metastable band. So metastable band is a fast non-radiative decay. Once it comes to the metastable band, then from there it will come to the lower state of your metastable band. So because of the pump transition, what happens is, from this metastable band it will come to the lower layer of your metastable band. This is decay due to the lower state there. So here for a spontaneous transmission to take place, we are going to incident a light of light at 4400 nanometers. So when it is going to be, light is going to be emitted at 1400 nanometers, what happens is, whatever is going to be the electron that is going to be at the lower state will come back to your ground state there. So when it comes back to the ground state, spontaneously it comes back after some duration. At that time, when it comes back to the ground state, you are going to have a light to be emitted at 1550 nanometers there. And next is your stimulated absorption. So stimulated absorption is when a light is going to be incident at 1550 nanometers, the electrons are going to be excited to a lower state of the metastable band there. When it is excited, it will be in this band for some duration of time, and then it will come back to the ground state there. So when it comes back to the ground state, the extra energy is going to be released in the form of photons, and you are going to have the optical signal. The output of this optical amplifier is going to be amplified there. So this stimulated absorption and stimulated emission is going to be done at 1550 nanometers there. And a spontaneous emission can also be done as 1550 nanometers. Here the instant light can be at 1480 nanometer photon there. So here these are the three bands. So now in your EDFA architecture, we are going to have an optical fiber amplifier, where this optical fiber amplifier is nothing but a doped fiber there. So it is going to consist of your doped fiber, one or more pump placers, a passive wavelength coupler, optical isolator and tap couplers. These are the components that are going to be present in your EDFA architecture there. So what is the purpose of this dichroic coupler is, it is going to be operated, di means two wavelength combinations. So two wavelength combinations are 980/1550 nanometers or 1480/1550 nanometer wavelength combinations are going to be used to couple the pump and the signal optical powers there. So here when it is going to couple the pump and the signal optical powers into the fiber, the function of the dichroic coupler is to couple both the pump signal and the signal optical power into the fiber there. Tap coupler. Tap coupler is nothing but it is going to be a wavelength insensitive one, and it is going to have the splitting ratios of 99:1 or to 95:5. Next is optical isolators. So we know that your optical isolators is going to prevent the amplified signals from reflecting back into the source. So when it is going to be reflected back into the source, the noise will be occurring there. So to avoid that noise, we are going to use an optical isolators, which is going to prevent the amplified signals from reflecting back into the device. So this is your EDFA architecture. So here your first is your co-directional pumping. Co-directional pumping is nothing but this is your signal. The signal is going to be given to a tap coupler, where this tap coupler is going to send the signal to your optical isolator. So this optical isolator will transmit the signal in one direction and it will send it to your wavelength selective coupler there. So when it reaches the wavelength selective coupler, in this wavelength selective coupler I am going to give the pump laser there. So when a pump laser is going to be there, both are going to be in the same direction. So we call it as co-directional pumping there. And this pumped waveform, the energy is going to be, signal is going to be coupled into the fiber and it is going to be transmitted through this EDFA amplifier, and it is going to be given to the optical isolator. At the receiver side I am going to have a tap coupler and the signal is going to be out. We are going to get the output signal. Next is counter directional. Counter directional means the pump signal should be given opposite to that of the input signal there. So here this is your signal input, this is your tap coupler, your optical insulator. From the tap coupler the signal is going to go to your optical insulator. From the optical insulator we are going to have your erbium doped fiber amplifier, and now we are going to use your wavelength selective coupler there. So in this case it is counter directional means your pump placer should be opposite to that of the input signal there. So once that opposite signal pump placer is going to be given, these two signals are going to be combined here, and the wavelength is going to be selected and it is going to be given to the optical isolator, which in turn is going to be got at the output through your tap coupler. Next is dual pumping. So dual pumping is either at the input side as well as at the output side I can have the pump placers there. That is directional as well as a counter directional also can be used. So a signal input is going to be given to the tap coupler, which is then given to your optical isolator, given to your wavelength selective coupler there. So here your pump placer is also going to be given in the direction of the signal input signal, and it is going to be pumped. The energy levels are going to be increased, and after that the output is going to be transmitted. The signal is going to be propagated along the EDFA fiber, and at the receiver side again I am going to use a pump, where I am going to have a pump placer which is going to be opposite to the direction of the input signal there, and the wavelength selective coupler will select that particular wavelength and it will send it to your optical isolator, where this optical isolator will send it to your tap coupler, and the output of this tap coupler will be getting the signal output. This is the EDFA architecture: co-directional pumping, counter directional, and your dual pumping there. So the gain versus your EDFA length. So this is your optical fiber length. So here this is going to be the gain. So how the gain is going to vary with respect to amplifier length? We can see that there's for a particular optimum length of the fiber, we can see that the gain is going to be maximum. So we say that there is going to be an optimum length at which the gain is going to be highest. The negative gain, so here this negative gain, if I am going to see -10, for this negative gain the length is going to be too long. To achieve the negative gain, the length of the fiber should be too long there. So this is your gain versus your amplifier length. Next is gain versus your pump level. So pump level is different pump power levels are going to be used for different pump power levels. How the gain is going to vary with your output signal power? We can see that the gain is going to decrease at larger signal levels. So here this larger signal levels are going to be there. When the larger signal levels are going to be there, the gains are going to decrease there. So the signal is going to be independent on the gain. The gain is going to increase with the pump power. So we can see that when the gain is going to be high, that is when the pump power is high, the gain is going to be constant, and after the particular distance your gain is going to decrease there. So this is how your gain versus your output signal power is going to be there. So here your gain decreases at large signal levels, and next is the signal dependent gain is going to increase with the pump power. So these are the EDFA. So this is your how your EDFA looks like and where we are going to use. So here inside this EDFA we are going to have the fiber input. So these two ends we are going to have as a fiber input output port, and this is nothing but the erbium doped fiber loop which you are going to have. This is your WDM fiber coupler, and this is going to be the pump placer which is going to send the light there. So this is the structure of your EDFA. Thank you.